There are bad ideas, and then there's whatever this is. How you doing? I'm Rebel, and welcome back to 7 Days. Today we're going full mad scientist mode with one of the jankiest blocks in 7 Days to Die. The legendary Catwalk V2 rail only double end. Man, that's a mouthful. Now, if you ever played with this thing before, you already know it has no right to work, but somehow, it does. First, I'm gonna attempt to make an actual pathway with it, which I'm pretty sure is gonna fail spectacularly. But after we watch a few zombies faceplant, I'm gonna crank it up to max stupidity and see if this old exploit still holds up. Let's go break some physics. So here we are in our little testing center, and I got a ladder up and the very start of a pathway. So before we start messing around with this block, I guess I should show you why it's janky. If you're new to 7 Days, or if you haven't seen it before, the Catwalk V2 rail only double end. The reason why it's so janky is because you can put it there and see how the back wall disappears. So if you put another one, it just keeps getting extended out and out and out, which can actually help you create a whole lot of crazy bases. Even if you turn on stability, you can't see it whatsoever. So I'm guessing that it's not gonna work as a pathway, but I'm still gonna try. So if you go to delete it, same exact thing happens. You delete one block, the next layer shows up. Another block, the next layer shows up. Next block, the next layer shows up. So on and so forth. Something that I was trying to think of to do is using this as a pathway, but I can't figure out how exactly I would do that with keeping it invisible. So if I put just 3 blocks down, just as an example, just to start us off. See it? You can still see it. Boom, gone. So technically, these two structures are connected. Don't ask me how, but they are. So if we throw in a Feral Arlene, I'm guessing she's not even gonna see it as a pathway, right? Or she's gonna come up and jump. Oh, no. She's just beating away at something down there because she knows she can't reach me. The other plan that I had was doing something if you spin it on its side. But the problem with that is that top block remains there. They might actually see that. So that's not really anything too fancy because it's still sitting there, right? But what would happen if we put something, what are those things called? I always lose these things. Hold double. Let's see if this works. I'm gonna try to make these blocks disappear. No, that doesn't work. We're gonna throw down a pull side centered. No, that doesn't do it either. No. The wedge narrow tip does work. All right, I've tried a few different pathway blocks to try to make this rail disappear, but for some reason I just can't find a block that goes along with it that makes the V2 rail disappear. And with this test right here, it actually does show the top 3 blocks. They're all the exact same block, but they're just rotated and positioned differently. So this one right here is just a wedge tip full just placed on the end. This is the wedge tip full placed upside down, and this is the wedge tip full placed on its side. So it does matter the positioning of the blocks. So I think it would take me hours upon hours to find the exact block that I'm looking for that would be able to be placed down to have the zombies pathway on it and for the rail to disappear. But you can see that when a flat surface is placed against that block, it works with pretty much every single flat surfaced block. So even if I use like the sheet, makes it disappear with the sheet. So there's no positioning that I can think of that's gonna work for a pathway that's gonna naturally have the zombies think that they can cross over it, but then just have a giant gap. So I think that the only way to really use these blocks is as structural blocks. And what I mean by structural blocks is if you stack those blocks up, so you can see there's nothing under the block, I can walk under it, nothing's obstructing my pathway whatsoever. But this is, let me turn on stability. This is a very solid, stable block because it is supported by that Catwalk V2 rail only double end. So even though this block isn't going to work exactly how we want it to, there's still a lot of fun things you can do with this. Let me show you. All right, so this is just a small scale example of what I'm going to be doing with it. There is no way that this platform should be floating in midair. I think the number of blocks, like the weight on the blocks is like 13 or something like that. So this one pole side-centered right here is supporting all of this, but it's not really. The V2 rail is all under here supporting the entire base. So if you look, I'll turn stability on. The whole thing is 100% stable. Actually, the weakest part of the entire base is the unsupported pole side centered right in the middle. All right, so let's say you crafted one of these bases and you're in your base, world's smallest base ever. Let's say a zombie spawns in. Let's get in 2 feral Arlenes. Number 1, they won't see you, and even if you make noise, they're pretty good about giving up pretty quickly. So obviously she's gonna run up straight to the pathway, and then she's like, oh, where'd he go? I have no idea where he is. So as long as you stay quiet, they completely forget that you're there. That still works. That won't work on Horde Night. The zombies will automatically just naturally find you on Horde Night. Set time 1/600. They've already lost interest. I'm still just hanging out in the Horde base, not doing anything. But they've lost interest because they can't see you, they can't find you, they have no idea where you're at. As long as you're quiet, you're good. I think that also applies to heat too. As long as you're not making too much heat or any heat. Might be different with screamers. Spawn in a screamer. She doesn't call anything. A spawned in screamer will not call in any enemies. So if I make some noise, I just fired the pistol. She runs up, looking for my position, can't find it. Sees a door. I'm completely quiet in there. They have no reason to attack it. They fall down. Screamer doesn't see me. Same situation. Now, one of the things that the zombies will do if they do see you and they can't get to you. So, for example, if I destroyed all of this, there's no way for the zombies to get me. I know, I'm so mean. Destroying your pathway. So they know I'm there. They got nothing to jump on me, nowhere to get me. But if I shoot, she's right underneath me. She knows I'm in there. Arlene knows I'm in there. I'm gonna make lots of shooting. They will actually take swipes at the pillars that aren't there. But if you remain quiet, they give up. So for a crafting base, this would actually be ideal because as long as you're quiet, they have no idea where you're at. Obviously it's cheesy, and I wouldn't want to see this in like a full series playthrough, and I would never do it in a full series playthrough. But somewhere for you to store your dew collectors would be perfect in this style thing because it's going to generate all the heat. Zombies can't get to it. Downside is, neither can you. You'd have to build yourself an entranceway in. All right, let's get rid of these zombies and actually craft up our floating horde base. All right, so if you're going to be making a floating base, it's not necessary for you to actually like put down a base foundation underneath the Catwalk V2 rail only double end. But the downside to not doing it is you get something that looks like this. So while that it's kind of obscured because the ground, that's not always going to be the case. Sometimes you'll have that rail looking like it's on top of the ground. So I always suggest that if you're going to be making a floating base using these, you always put down like a base layer foundation. Typically a 5 wide bunker is what I usually go with, and that's pretty much with like standard with like every single base that I ever build. I try to always do at a minimum a 5 wide bunker. There's no real reason for it other than the fact that I don't like the 3 wide bunkers because you kind of run out of room really quickly. And I like having the ability to be a little bit mobile inside my bases, unless I'm like restrained by like POI clearance. Like if I'm building the base inside of a POI and I only have a 3x3, then that's what I'm gonna go with. All right, so there is our solid pathway. And the other reason why I put down the foundation and I put ramps leading up to it is because if zombies do run up to try to get into your base, there's nothing obstructing them. There's nothing holding them back. There's nothing that's gonna stop them from being able to just freely navigate through. So if you had a pillar right in the center, they're gonna walk up, obviously start hitting the pillar. So anytime I do these style bases, I always put down a base layer foundation first. This is the tricky part because placing these can get a little bit difficult. And these rails, they work just like normal blocks. You don't have to do the entire rail all the way across. You could just do like the corners and you should be fine. There you go. All I have is the corners built up. So that's just the corners of the foundation that's supporting this entire base. And with stability turned on, you could see, might be one over. Oh, I made one too many. That's what it was. Yeah, that's a 5x5. That's why I had some yellows over there. But I'm gonna build up the entire thing because when the horde does come, they will fall and they will attack the invisible blocks eventually. They won't always see them right away, but they will eventually attack the invisible blocks. So one of the reasons why I wanted to build this style base for this video is because somebody recently told me that they patched this out, and maybe they patched it out of their version. I'm on the latest version 2.4. You can see in the top right, 2.4 B6. Maybe they meant they patched out like the zombies interaction with them. I have no idea, but this is working just fine. Now, one downside to using these blocks is even though they're invisible, they're actually still taking up a single block space. So if I wanted to put a spinning blade trap down here, if I wanted to put fence posts or dart traps or whatever, turrets, you're not going to be able to. So let me grab one. I'll show you. So if I go to put a shotgun turret down, it's not going to let me place it anywhere in here because this is technically, while there's nothing there, it's still technically, that block is still technically being occupied by one of these rails. So it does suck that you can't use like the shotgun turrets or any of the turrets or any of the traps in the space that that block is occupying. But at the same time, if you're cheesing this game enough to make a floating horde base, there's much better ways that you can use shotgun turrets. Throw them behind some walls, put some scaffolding ladders in front of them. There we go. There's our floating platform. Now we just need to build out our bunker. So I even tried using this method to create like a loot catcher or something along those lines where like the zombies wouldn't be able to walk on it, but loot would be held in place. Doesn't work. I was also trying to think of something that we could use this for like in the series. This is just so cheesy. I couldn't imagine using this in a playthrough. I think if somebody used this in a playthrough, it would make so many people more angry than interested. I think so many people would be like, well, that's just cheating. Let's be honest with each other. This is cheating. We're getting there. We're almost there. Now, one thing I will encourage though, is if you're playing in a private game with just you and a friend, you want to mess with them, this is the block you use. But right now it looks like this entire base is just supported by only these 3 blocks. The 3 stairway blocks. Now, if you know anything about this, you know that there's blocks there. You know that there's blocks all throughout underneath this stairway. But you can actually come up with some really cool designs with this. You can have multi-floors, you get whole lot of stuff you could do with this. All right, now all we got left to do is paint it and send in the horde. And because this already looks like a birdhouse, we're gonna go ahead and make it look even more like a birdhouse. It's all painted up and looking nice. If I had to guess, I threw some lights in, some lanterns, make it actually look like a birdhouse. I don't know why, thought it was fun. If I had to guess, I would say that the one spot that the zombies are gonna attack first, it is going to be this invisible pillar that runs all the way up to this block right here. And the reasoning is because this block to this block is only supported by that one pillar. Probably should have reinforced that a little bit, but we're just going to see what happens. everything is complete. We got the birdhouse looking good. Now we just need to organize our weapons. We're taking our spear, the club, the pistol, the 44, the auto shotty, the SMG, tactical assault rifle, lever action rifle. We're gonna use the concrete for repairs, our cast, because if this thing does collapse, we're gonna need a cast. Bacon and eggs and yucca juice for stamina. We're gonna need to get more repair kits, some first aid, and ammo. We have no way in and out of this base, so no ladder, so when we do fall, we're gonna end up using that cast. Hopefully we fall of our own accord and the zombies don't take us out. I'm just now seeing that the rails aren't painted all the way. Darn it. There and there. All right, now they're painted. Creative mode off, dev mode off, set time, day 70, 21, 58. I really hope this goes well. Welcome to the floating birdhouse horde base. Gotcha, buddy. Slowing you down. Birds. I have 3 spikes on my roof. Oh, a right off the bat. A white right off the bat. I really wish that I made this further out so that I could see if they're trying to destroy the foundation or not. Like, yeah, they're coming up to me, but not all of them are coming up to me. Hey, loot bag. Ooh, a lot of big boys. The way that we built this base, we should be able to just stand right here and shoot the entire time. As long as we can stay. There's cop spit coming. Cop spit coming. Hey, zombies blocked it for me. Thanks, buddies. Yeah, as long as we can stay on top of our reloads and our repairs, this base should have no problem whatsoever. As long as they stay away from my foundation. They're having a hard time with those stairs. I think we're doing good. Too early to tell. This could go horribly wrong very quickly. Darn it. Just trying to get that cop out of there before he spat. And I did. But barely. At the cost of some of my own blocks. No, sir. No, sir. Cop was trying to blow up on me. If this whole place tumbles, I'm gonna be so angry, man. It takes so much work to get these floating horde bases working properly. Not complicated, just tedious. So much tedious work getting these horde bases working. Bird, can you find my spikes, please? I misplaced them. They're up there somewhere. Can you get them for me? He got me on that one. Demo! How you doing, buddy? Take a spill. Thank you. Ton of whites. Too many. I really wish I could see the bottom of this base. The bottom of that block that I was telling you about earlier. Bernie's in a birdhouse. No, thank you. That's asking for trouble. Come on, get out of here. Nobody wants you. Birds, again, find my spikes. Cop spit is causing damage to the inside of my base, which I can't stand. Take a shotgun blast to the face. Nobody wants you here. You're not welcome. This is the floating horde base. You do not float, sir. You're adding too much weight to the structural stability. That'd be a fun mechanic, wouldn't it? Your weight had to account for the structural stability of the zombies, like the strength of the blocks that you put down as a foundation. That would be aggravating. Very aggravating, though, because you'd be in the middle of a build. Come on, buddy. I need a health kit. You'd be in the middle of a build, in the middle of a Horde Night, be like, yeah, this stood up pretty well. Sir, you made it through. There's no fire allowed in this base. Can you go away, all of you? I need to clear you guys out so I can do some repairs. Arlene, thank you. Annoying. Cop just blew up down there. No zombies welcome in my birdhouse. Not even the birds are welcome in my birdhouse. Mama, I haven't seen you in a couple Horde Nights. Welcome. These guys are gonna be made of lead by the time I'm done with them. Jeez, they're bullet sponges. I saw the demo moving in, instantly switched weapons. I can't be fighting a demo with a shotgun, man. That's just too risky. Way too risky. Mama, welcome. Biker, hello. Charged zombies, infernals, demos, soldiers, skaters. There's no real obstacle for the zombies to face in this base, which is why we're getting so many of them, which I'm okay with. Poor demo. He's had like 3 or 4 runs so far. Or we've had 3 or 4 demos, I don't know. I just keep seeing demos. A lot of demos this base, or this Horde Night. I think we're holding in there good. 2 more hours of this. Oh, 2.5 more hours of this. I think we can hold them off. I don't know what they're doing down there, so I think at the 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock mark, as soon as it becomes morning time, I think I'm gonna bail on the base. I'm gonna get a cast ready. Fill up my health. Geez, these demos, man. I don't know if it's the same one or if he's just keep cycling through. Feel sorry for you, buddy. There's at least 2 demos. 3 demos. I just saw 3 rapidly back to back. Another downside to this base is it's a lot more difficult to repair the invisible pillars. Because when the invisible pillars are damaged, you can't see them. I know, White. Can you get out of here, please? Oh, too many zombies. You don't have any legs, sir. You made it all the way up here without legs. I feel sorry for shooting you. Should have just let you eat me. You deserved it. 3 whites all in a row. This isn't good. They all fell, though. I need to reload everything. Everything is out of ammo right now. Reload the shotgun. Almost time. We got 5 minutes. 5 minutes and this was a success. Holy crap, there's a lot of last push zombies, man. Ooh, at least they slowed down. These guys need to go. All right, I think that's good. We're gonna bail. I don't know, should I bail or not? Those might be the last 2. That might have been it. So it looks like nothing is severely... Ooh, they took out 1 stairway. 1 stairway block. Ooh, and a lot more. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stairway blocks. So the pathway did take quite a bit of damage, but not so much damage that it took down our base. Well, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but the floating birdhouse of doom actually worked. Night 70 rolled in with a full buffet of angry zombies, and they barely scratched the paint. So yeah, we officially survived the apocalypse in a tree fort held together with duct tape and bad decisions. If you've got any suggestions, or you just want to see me test things that are even cheesier than this, you know the rest of the deal. Like, share, comment, subscribe, notification bell. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace, I'm out of here.